All right, Jim Coogan, welcome back to the show. Your thoughts?
Hey, Ben, it's good to see you. Thank you for having me back. We actually are coming up on our 8-year show anniversary because it's always easy to check because it was the day that the news came out that Trump fired Jim Comey. That was my first show with you. So it was like May 9th or 10th of 2017. So
Damn, 8 years.
Yeah, suddenly I was an expert on independent counsel and special counsel statutes, which
literally in the studio. I remember I was like, I never even met the guy before. We were face to face in the studio. I go, Jim, can you handle this?
I spent 20 minutes before the show like looking them up because I mean I knew what they were, but yeah, in the normal world we existed in before November of 2016, you didn't need to spend a lot of your life thinking about those things. But thanks to Donald Trump, we've all spent a lot more time thinking about the Constitution, which is the subject of today's show. But yeah, it's one thing that occurs to me while you were describing this guy, Jim. I don't know. I suspect it has a lot to do with the propagandized nature of the media that he probably consumes. But it's wild if you stop and think that he wants to, or probably feels like he needs to have control and power over what happens in high school bathrooms and locker rooms, but doesn't realize that his vote actually has power over whether he will continue to get his VA benefits.
Yeah.
Or which one is more important in his day-to-day life? It's an efficacy question that the people don't understand that they actually have that capacity, or a prioritization question that his viewpoint has been so dipped in acid and fizzled away that he just doesn't realize, like, okay, I served, I earned these benefits, I should stand up for my right to continue to get them, and should never have believed that they would have been honored by Donald Trump, a guy who's 5 times dodged a draft, has referred to veterans and people who died in wars as suckers and losers. I don't know why a veteran would ever vote for him. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not a veteran. I won't pretend like I have a something to say on what they ought to do, but it certainly doesn't make any sense to me that this Jim wouldn't understand that why would he want to abstain? It doesn't, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
There are other issues in Wisconsin law that you'd think he would care about and realize that there's a huge difference. There doesn't have to be. But nowadays, we're in a position where, because of the very extreme view that so many courts of review justices, Republican candidates for those positions, have taken such extreme views on what the Constitution means, not just at the state level or at the federal level with the United States Supreme Court, but in courts of appeal and in state Supreme Courts, that it's important that, you would have seen in the coverage that this was the most money that was spent on any judicial election ever. Illinois set that record a few years ago because of the stakes are high if the expectation is one side is going to try to push through bills that nobody really would have expected would be constitutional before. But if you get the right mixture of justices, suddenly you can have that blessed. So, yes, those are just my thoughts.
I'm going to hesitate. I'm going to refrain, Jim, for going any further into an analysis of voters. I always get in trouble when I do this. I'm shaming voters. And yes, I constantly are shaming voters as I struggle to understand voters and their mentality. And so I'm just going to leave that behind because we have other things I want to talk about with you. But yes, I am as baffled as you are about it could just been a one quote, like just a non sequitur and a larger oration that doesn't make him look good. So we'll just leave it at that. But when I saw that quote, I'm like, what the hell? I can't abstain. All right.
I'm glad for his sake that he voted accordingly, and I'm glad that they added. Well, and the last judge was Janet Perasewicz, I think was
very good.
I didn't even have to look that one up. I'm trying to impress you, since you usually the 47th Ward alderman from 1979. So it's hard to keep up with you on trivia.
That would be Eugene Schulter. All right. I'm
not going to fact check that. I have no idea. That's okay.
Yeah. 47th Ward, and the committeeman then would be Ed Kelly from the 47th Ward in the city of Chicago. All right.